Well, hello YouTube. It is 9:51 a.m. Tuesday, November 22nd. I kind of finished the Heaven's Arena a couple of days ago, and I was going to do it after I finished it, but I never got the chance to it. And I'm just doing this now before I go to my workout. So, the Heaven's Arena arc in the manga. Well, it's still similar to the anime, the 2011 version. I never watched the 1999 version. I might give a review on that one. But I would say everything was pretty much explained well, especially when it came to Nen. And I like what the creator Togashi does after it's over or the beginning. He still gives you the updates and how to remember Nen and stuff like that, because Nen can be very, complex for first viewers trying to understand the power system of the anime. So I think he does a pretty good job about explaining it, but we'll get to that later. Right now, I want to talk about how Killua was basically helping Gon. Like, this is after Gon retreat, like, finally brings back Killua after going to his house. So Killua's like, well, you need to learn how to fight a little bit better because you got your ass whooped by Hanzo. So in order for you to punch Hisoka, you're going to have to go through training. So he introduces him to the Heavens Arenas arc. Mind you, Killua is a trained assassin, so he's been there when he was 6 years old, and he basically quit when he was at the 200th floor. So as that's going on, he's telling Gon, like, you don't even have to punch these people as hard. You lifted the door, which was a ton. It weighed a ton. So all you got to do is just simply push people like that, my big ass hands. So him and Killua are just going through these floors like it's nothing, and then there comes another boy. Now Zushi to me seems like he might be 10 years old, and he's already a black belt, so he has lots of potential too. I can't wait to see what happens in a time skip with Zushi, because we will see Zushi again, I believe. But the three of them, they're the youngest in Heaven's Arena, so they're just going through motherfuckers like it's nothing. So finally, we get to the point where um it's Killua versus Zushi. So Killua was obviously watching him. Even though Zushi is a trained martial artist and he's a black belt too, he's become very, very, very talented, but he can't do shit against Killua. So this is where we get the introduction of Nen, but we didn't get the introduction of Nen yet. It showed off an intimidating aura that he was giving off because he was doing his stance so firmly. He was determined to beat Killua, but Wing was like, Zushi, because if Zushi uses Nen, he's killing Killua. So Killua was obviously intimidated by this because he doesn't know what this aura is. Now he becomes curious of it because he knows that he's stronger than Zushi, but for some reason, he was intimidated by this similar aura that he had close to his brothers. So, oh yeah, I didn't even introduce Wing. So Wing is obviously the teacher of Zushi. Now, Gon and Killua obviously want to know what Nen is so they can advance a little bit more too. But Wing wasn't really trying to tell them that. So what would happen is they would go to the 200th floor after they got done whooping everybody's ass from the other below floors. And here comes Hisoka. Hisoka already knew where these guys would be at. So obviously, he's telling them, you're not ready for this. Shoo, go away, learn Nen, and then you can come on the 200th floor. I like Hisoka because Hisoka he's not a villain. He's someone that enjoys fights, and he'll help you so he can fight you. Like that dude's insane. I love him, man. I do. He is a perv though. He is. But as that goes on, Wing finally decides to teach them, then teaches them the basics, all of that. Make sure even, to know what type of nin ore they basically are. So Kilo is a transmuter. Gon is an enhancer, and Zushi is a manipulator. So that's how we figure out what their nin base is. There's more than that. There's conjurer, specialist, enhancer, manipulator, and transmuter. 5. Then you got Hatsu, Ren, Ten, Zen, and Hatsu. So you have all of that. And it's all being explained very, very nicely. It's like we're literally in the show with them, and we're learning how to do this shit too. And I would say it applies to real life too. It's just explained a little bit better and a little bit, fictional for the Hunter x Hunter fan base and for the fiction fan base of this story. But Nin is real life. Like, people do this. He explained that really well. When people want a political point or when people are playing sports, they're using Nin, aka energy. So, as we're getting to that, Gon and Killua are advancedly learning Nin, and Wing is kind of nervous because he's like, I might have woken up some fucking beast at this point. Like, I don't know if I woke up some monsters or potential monsters, but I'm sure he knows that these two have good hearts. So, but he still knows that at the end of the day, we are all human. So good, bad, ugly, evil, any of that, and then it's very scary. It's a limited thing for limited people. Only hunters can get this. So Gon didn't even realize that he was still doing the hunter exam. That's the funny part about Hunter x Hunter, man. We're getting the beginning of, what it means to be a hunter by going through a journey with these two 12-year-old kids. So, okay. Hisoka. Let's see how much time I have. I might have to do a part 2 just in case. So, Hisoka. Hisoka's first opponent that we see him fight against, it's versus Castro. Now, Castro has a nin ability that can make him turn into clones. The downside about it is he gets a headache every time because it takes a lot of nin to do it. So we saw Castro at the beginning when Killua wanted to know who he is, because obviously this guy's close to being a floor master. So when he was discovering him, the nigga's fucking behind him. He's like, what the fuck? How the fuck you do that shit? So, we get that. Now, it was starting to become a good fight, but Hisoka's downfall will be him enjoying it too much, and then he gets his ass whooped if he gets killed. Now, we can talk about that later, but the fight was pretty interesting because Hisoka made it seem like he's just this crazy magician. Meanwhile, he's using Nin this whole time. So we've already discovered that he has Nin. We've been known that he has Nin. We just didn't know it as a viewership when you first watch it or when you first read the manga. I've read the manga to the point where, when the show was over. So I know what's currently going on right now, but I'm going through this whole journey to watch it, to read it from the beginning, because I think that would just be better for me to understand Hunter x Hunter a little bit more and to understand, the things that they didn't show in the anime, because not everything is shown in the anime. They'll either cut stuff out or they'll add extra stuff to it. So that's what it is, for real. So, long story short, Hisoka didn't even care about his arms being taken off because who cares? Like, he's gonna get them reattached. He can still whoop this nigga's ass, and he did, basically killing him. And this is where we get the introduction of this is where we get the introduction of the Phantom Troop. We meet one of them, and this one is Paku. Paku's the one with pink hair, and she has the little kunoichi ninja type dress. I don't even want to say it, but she kind of has this similarity to Sakura, or Sakura has this similarity to her. But they're not the same character at all, so let's not even go there, all right? I shouldn't even mention that. That's a disgrace to Paku. I crack myself up. But as that's going down, Hisoka won. He got his arms taken off. So she's helping him with nin stitches. She has nin stitch ability where she can reattach limbs. And that's a pretty cool ability for real. Imagine getting your fingers chopped off from a mistake from work and she's just reattaching them. Now, it's going to cost the arm and a leg because 50 million and 45 million for both arms is a lot of money. But when you're Hisoka and you have all this money because you continue to fight and you're basically a floor master, you're going to make that type of money. So that's basically the basics of that. She was explaining how Hisoka was using Nin the whole time and explaining how Castro was... when it comes to Hunter x Hunter and it comes to the fights, you see this everywhere, but it's described so perfectly because it's like you're giving a realistic standpoint of how they're fighting and how they're thinking about what the opponent's going to do next. So Hisoka's obviously in this guy's head because Hisoka beat Castro before, but Castro was winning a little bit. So, Hisoka's just going to take his time and he's going to basically slow the pace down to his position so he can make sure he has the W. And that's what happened. He got into Castro's head. Castro got too full of himself, and Castro ended up getting fucking clapped. Like, he got punched in the jaw right there. He weak right there, all the way from it came out of nowhere too. That's the thing. He had his arms all the way over there while he was using bungee gum. And bungee gum is this thing that he used to like as a when he was a kid. It was bungee gum. That's probably the only backstory that we'll have from him for a while. So she's explaining that in very good detail. The end. I'm sure people don't want to hear about that still. So, So back to Gon and Killua. They're still learning Nin. So as they're learning Nin, there's 3 to 4 people that want to fight them because they already know Nin. But Wing told Gon and Killua not to fight for at least 2 to 3 months. But Wing doesn't know how much potential that these two have. Gon is so eager to fight because he has Nin and he has this new ability. He wants to test it out. Nothing's going to stop Gon at the end of the day from doing what he wants to do. This is a kid that's very determined to meet his dad. He knows that in order to meet his dad, he has to go through this whole hunter shit. So he's going to enjoy his journey and try to fight, people that he's not, strong enough yet. So he's fighting. It's kind of a shame that I forgot these 3's name, but they're so irrelevant to the story. They're only there for a couple of chapters. Well, for this arc specifically. Excuse me. But he fights this spinning guy. And obviously he's losing badly. And for some reason, Gon decides to turn his Nin ability off and all of that shit off. So we're like, why did he do that? Like, Wing's going crazy. Killua was going crazy. Like, bro, if he hits you, bro, you can die. And the motherfucker almost did die. Like, He had a broken arm, like 3 broken ribs, fractures, all of that shit. But he recovered in like a month or two. You got to remember, he's a nature boy, so he knows how to recover in his own way. Plus, he has Nen. He's practicing it a little bit, even though Wing told him that you're restricted from training Nen for 2 months. Okay. Killua decides to wait. Wing even asked, why are you guys here? And he was like, well, we just want to make money we just want to make money because we're broke right now. And that's basically the reason. So fast forward, they learn Nen a little bit more better after Gon is done with his little pinky promise thing that he made with Wing. Then this is all live still, like, but then we fast forward. Gon is stronger now. He knows Nen, so he beats 2 of these guys, and Killua beats both of them guys too. Well, he beats one of them because the other one quit. I forgot to mention they were trying to make a deal with Killua, Gon, and Zushi because obviously they're new Nen users, so they want to make it to the Masters floor so they can have all the advantages and not do shit for real. They want to be rich. They want to do all of that stuff because that's what happens when you're a floor master in the Heavens Arena. When you win all your matches, well, when you get to 10 matches, you get to become a floor master, and then you can stay on the floor whenever you want. You can do all that other shit. So obviously they want to get their easy wins off of kids that just started Nen. But they don't realize that these kids have so much potential, and that's why they're Nen users at 12 years old. So Gon did lose the first one, but he got his revenge. And then he faced the electric chair guy, and so did Killua. Both of them beat him. So all of them are eliminated from being floor masters, and they're going to have to start over again sometime in the future. But they're irrelevant to the story, like I said. So no one gives a fuck about those motherfuckers. Finally, the conclusion, we get to Gon versus Hisoka. Hisoka finally acknowledged Gon as an opponent and a rival now, knowing still that he's not that he's still just getting used to Nen. But Hisoka's a pervert. He gets off on fighting people that are potentially strong or stronger than him. So he knows Gon's going to be a threat in the future. So he lets Gon get his chance to fight him because they made a deal. When you can punch me like this, then I'll take the card back, the number 44. So we're going through that. The anime did it so well when they were trying to show him trying to punch the shit out of Hisoka. Obviously, Hisoka's dodging and weaving and all that shit. Like, he's doing all that shit. Eventually, he does his little wall pull shit, punches it. Hisoka's punching everywhere. Bam, he gets him. So Hisoka finally acknowledges him, and then he starts beating the fuck out of Gon. It was not even close. Hisoka's on a whole nother level at the end of the day. He's faster. He's stronger. He has a better mind when it comes to fighting. It's just not fair. So the ref is kind of cheating for Hisoka, but at the end of the day, it's understandable because he knows that Gon is nowhere near close to him. He doesn't want this kid to just die from fighting him. But I think he could have kept on going for real. It is what it is. That's the end of the Heavens Arena arc. And we get straight to the point when it comes to the Phantom Troop arc. So the Phantom Troop arc is about to be very interesting. They're going to be showing more things than they did in the anime. So I can't wait for that. My opinion on the Heavens Arena arc was, I think it was a good arc to introduce you to a new power system in an anime or manga. So I'm going to give the Heavens Arena a 6.5 out of 10. Was it a little bit boring? I mean, yeah, it's a little bit slow pace, but they're foreshadowing the Phantom Troop. They're foreshadowing Hisoka. They're foreshadowing Nin and how strong it can get because we just got the beginning of Nin, and you're still going through the basics. Like you're still being taught what it means to be a hunter. So that's pretty cool. I give it a 6.5 out of 10 because it was a good, opening power system arc. I mean, you're not gonna expect much when they're just doing it. If you expect all of that shit to happen, then where's the build up to it? Where's where's the part where where's the level of enjoyment? Like you have to wait a little bit until it gets better. You got to keep on waiting and going to the next arc because every arc gets darker and darker and it gets deeper and deeper. And we're going to see that when it comes to the Phantom Troop arc. So I think this was a good arc, and I can't wait to read more of the Phantom Troop. So, that was my little review of the Heavens Arena arc, summary of it. And I'm going to go to the gym now. So I will make the next video probably in about a week or so. I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish the Phantom Troop arc, but I know I'm going to enjoy reading it. So I'm going to talk to you guys later, though. So good arc. Yeah. I don't have like a little lingo yet, when you know how YouTubers be having, well, this was my update and my review, so it was like I don't have that. I can't monologue like that. I can't. So I mean, I guess. But yeah, man, peace out. I'm gonna talk to y'all later though.